All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday afternoon, I finally got around to doing a thing. Let's turn that audio off to make sure nothing's double pumping out. A couple of things on the old plate. Shoot over to the right window here, the right monitor to start you off. I will be attending Con on the Cob October 3rd to the 6th. I'll be flying out Wednesday the 2nd, I believe. Hanging out there till Saturday night, Sunday morning when I fly back home. Lots of games, lots of good times, lots of fun. If you're in the neighborhood and you want to come down and say hi, this is where I will be. Hanging out with the Nerds International crew, which is going to be some good fun. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. Also, check out my other podcasts that I do. Wild Eye, if you're interested in Savage Worlds, this is the place to be. Wild Eye Podcast. We put out an episode every 2 weeks. Me and Eric, I guess. And then, of course, if you're not familiar with it, I do my own podcast, which you'll find on my YouTube channel. You'll see it pop up there all the time. But the Murder Hobo Show RPG podcast, we talk about anything and everything RPG related. That out of the way, let's get to what we got going on here today. So this map is actually, let me do this. I'm going to go here and here. And while you guys are looking at my cool ass table, I want to pimp out this guy because let's go back to the right monitor. This will be over soon. I will make this as painless as possible. Dice Grimorium does these really cool maps and they're dirt cheap. For like $2, you get the PSD file, which is pretty cool. So you can eliminate all the top stuff and whatnot. But this is, he's got some pretty decent ones. I haven't seen this one. This must be, this is from today. So this was just released a little while ago. This is like a forest, sort of walk right through the forest, little ambush popping up on either side, which is pretty neat. I'm just going to sort of quickly skim through these. Lava pools, here's your tier 2 rewards and your tier 1 rewards. But this is the one that we're doing here. So there's the tier 2 with the PSD files. This would be your tier 1, has a little bit less, doesn't come with alternate versions, but it is still a very cool map nonetheless. And then this one here is the public domain 22 by 30 with the grids. So you see it's got the little grids on it and stuff like that, but this is available for the public to use. And I've taken this map and I've converted it into Tabletop Simulator. It didn't take long. It's actually pretty easy to do. Dice Grimorium on Patreon. And then we're going to shoot over to the tabletop here. I got my One World up and running, and then inside of One World, you see it's going to take me right to the Waterfalls. This map's been converted into 1600 by 945. You can see it not built on the table. Oh, I see that I got an error right there. That piece didn't pack. I'm going to have to make sure that that gets into my map somehow. So there's the base map. If you just wanted to play with it flat in the ground, you know what I mean? No 3D elements, which is a thing that you can do inside a Tabletop Simulator. You don't have to make everything 3D. You can just pop it on there, throw your minis on, call her done. But playing inside a Tabletop Simulator gives you the options to do things like that. So you can build maps, do cool things with them. Excuse me if you heard that. Yikes. So in this little map, I've got some 3D rocks hanging out in the water. The water effects for this map are broken. I should have put a rock up here to cover this little blue water strike, or this is the reason that I started using black, but I needed to fade this back away from the front of the image a little bit more. It's picking up some of the blue. What I actually should have done is made this the same color. I should have just copied the color and then made the image a little bit bigger, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. It doesn't look too bad. Somebody's made these trees. I just stuffed these bushes on top of the map, moved them into various locations, and always try and put pathways in here. It's cool because it gives your players, like, you know, places to go hide. So in a map like this, especially in a map like this where your party has had one of their adventurers, you know, nabbed in the middle of the night by some trolls or something like that, they need to follow the river to where the river starts and head up into the rocky badlands or something along those lines, and rescue the fair princess or whoever. But You want to take things like your characters and whatnot. You see how these guys instantly go up? So you want to make sure that you always kind of got a place to put them. What you can do here, one of the little tricks is take auto raise off, and then they'll just kind of like drag through here. See how they get sort of weirdly hung up on things? So what I like to do is I just like to lock them in place. And then your players can tell you where they want your guys to go. And he's done and done. He's just moved right into the bushes. He's got some sweet cover. She maybe swims across and goes over here somewhere, hides in behind the trees, which you can see at some point. She kind of fits nicely in there. But yeah, I like to leave a bit of space. The reason that kind of stuff happens is because models are like this, are square. So even though they appear to be not square-ish, they do take up like a square spot. So if you were to pick her up and set her on top, because the tree actually takes up a square spot, you can see she's actually sitting on top of the square. That's the space that it takes up. It's kind of a weird, goofy thing about Tabletop Simulator, but at any rate, if you just drop her on the ground and lock her in place, you can move her wherever you want. She can take cover in the bushes. She can hide back in behind the tree line somewhere, pop out, take her shots. But yeah, this guy, man, he's not having any of it. He's a little choked. He's got a 6-pack of spears and he's ready to poke holes in some fools. So the rest of the map is essentially water. Leads up to the waterfalls, which I'm a little pissed off about because the water doesn't work anymore. There was some kind of Unity thing in 2019. There was a Unity update, and the effects for water have been basically destroyed. Objects, saved objects. We go to water, and this was my original waterfall that I used in my other maps, and you can see it does nothing. So, the old waterfalls have become useless. Fortunately, somebody's built some new ones, but they're kind of thin and a little bit pitiful. So they kind of look a little goofy. The last ones were really wide. But other than that, you've got the Knoll Beasts, man. Check out this badass from Paperforge Minis. How sweet is that guy up there with his like flaming frickin' skull that he's got for a chain? He's got a couple of them poking in on his deal there. So not bad for one of your bad guys. Here's maybe like an undead gnoll or something like that. He's like a withering gnoll covered in like maybe dead flesh. Could be your party's dead flesh when they get through. Some kind of weird, freaky looking creature. Wolf hybrid thing with a big stinger on his tail. Very creepy. And then over here you got like a gnoll caster and his hyena partner. Now the hyena partner kind of looks a little bit too big. Maybe you want to shrink them down to about that size, but yeah, check out the freaking sweet-ass Paperforge Mini Gnoll caster guy with his tongue hanging out the side of his head, doing his little devil hands. That's wicked. The skull on top of the spearhead there. You can see the little waterfall effects, but I took off all the tooltips so you can't really see it, and then just tossed a bunch of water. So yeah, the cool part about this map is you have two areas and an obstacle between you and your party. So this is going to be a ranged attack, sort of a fight. Cover's going to be a big issue here. Popping out, throwing your spells, getting back behind cover, advancing, that kind of a thing, which is, it's an interesting aspect of this map. But yeah, other than that, she turned out not too bad. Maybe they somehow send out some sneaky thief to flank them. And he makes a few stealth checks to get around and pop up behind him on the backside, and then chases him across the rocky plains. Not a bad map at all. It turned out really well. Took me maybe an hour or so, maybe a little over an hour to cut out these pieces, slam them all in here, and that's the new map that I'm going to pop out for this week. Dice Grimorium's Waterfalls map. That's it in a nutshell. I'll fix a few things up and drop this thing into the table, the One World table that you can find also. I should probably put a link to that because a lot of people have been asking me where to find it. So what I will do is go to my games, my workshops, and let's hit the browse button. Go to my files, files you've posted. And this is it here. One World Games with Table Images. Now, you can't even see that. So what I'm going to do is click on this, and I will hit the share button. Get that. Control A, Control C. This is a little goofy. Back to the right monitor. And Control V, paste. There you go. All of the maps that I make are available right here. You should be able to type this into the Tabletop Simulator workshop, and it should come up, or you can check me out. I'm Murder Hobo on Steam, and yeah, you can find the stuff that I make. But this is the table here. So that's it in a nutshell. Another little short video. Enjoy.